Okay, sharing groups. That is shared. Turn it on the gram. And we're good.
All right.
History, and let's add us to the stream. Boom. How's that? All right, welcome back. So we've covered conventional meeting. Now we're going to add a little bit of technology to it with computers and cell phones and all that other stuff. I got AJ Santana with me, who's really helped to bring cold calling to our business and make it a really functional, productive method of getting leads. Honestly, it's our number one way right now. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce you to AJ Santana. And I mean, AJ Santana, you want to give him a little bit of the backstory here?
I'd love to, boss.
All right, go for it. I'm gonna cue you up here. Have fun
All
with
right,
that.
boss. So,
Wow.
welcome everyone, and thank you for tuning into this video. So, again, my name is AJ Santana. I've met a few of you out in the field and in the industry at this point, but for those who haven't met me yet, I am a real estate investor, a real estate agent, and I actually have a few other accolades that are on my belt, like property management, and I'm also a notary. But mainly the bread and butter is investing and being a real estate agent. So about 3 years ago, I actually used to work a 9 to 5 job, which is a very traditional route that many of us take. And as many of you know, COVID was a pandemic that wiped out a lot of people from their jobs and their finances. And along that journey, I was let go of my job. It was actually outsourced to a different company, but nonetheless, I knew that door had closed, so another one could open. Right. So during that interim, I already knew that I was interested in real estate. I was using whatever little time that I had to study everything from A to Z. And in the beginning, it was so overwhelming. It's literally a new language that I was learning how to speak, right? And Chuck Kohout had a office in was it Elmwood Park, boss?
Yeah, it was in the park.
Elmwood Park, and that's where we met. So that's where this picture on your screen is actually from. And I used to come in, so it was a 9 to 5, right? But we all know that it doesn't end at 5. It actually ends at like 5:30, 5:45. Then I would beeline it to the office in Elmwood Park. Real estate class would already be in session, and I'd kind of mosey on in and sit, toward the side of the classroom, try not to be a disturbance, and take as many notes as I could. And I always had questions, and I was just trying to be the best student that I could. And along with doing that, I met a lot of people that I'm still in contact with today, like a very long list of people, right? So I always like to refer to this moment because it really was pivotal for me. And I always want to give appreciation and thanks to Chuck because he's definitely a large portion of how I ended up where I'm at. Okay.
Even though we both needed haircuts and a beard trim.
Yeah. So, furthermore, here is a slide of me at my desk at my 9 to 5. I remember one day I was just so fed up with that lifestyle. I was like, you know what? Freak it. I'm going to go to the printer and I'm going to print out, like, I don't even know how many pages that is, 50, 75, 100-page binder on company time, on company ink. And if my boss doesn't like it, well, so be it because I know where I'm headed, right? So I would sit there. I probably had, things I had to do related to the job side of it, but I was more invested in actually downloading all of this information into my brain. And it covered so many topics from deal structure, how to talk to sellers, how to find them, how to disposition the deal, where to find money, credit repair, and more topics that you probably didn't even realize that you should, be educated on. So I was just like in this kind of like analysis phase where I was downloading and downloading and downloading a bunch of information. So that's what this slide refers to. And just there shortly after, as we preach here, action is your most valuable asset, right? So I could read that whole binder 5 times, but if I never did anything with the information, it would be rendered useless. So something that was taught to me was pre-foreclosure, and who that was and what that was, right? So just for the sake of being on the same page, a pre-foreclosure is a homeowner who is 3 or more months behind on their mortgage payment. So for that reason and others, but mainly for that reason, we can have insight to understand that there is financial distress happening within that household. The next step after I understood that, go back to the previous slide, boss. Next
There you
step after that, I was taught how to get in contact with these people. So there's actually a resource that was given to me through Chuck, and it's actually sourced from the county. It's called NJ Lists Pendants, and it's a paid subscription on a monthly basis. But this is, again, something that Chuck plugged me into. It's already a system that he had in place. And he said, hey, AJ, call these people. They're all in pre-foreclosure. And within a matter of time, it seemed like, a week, like in no time, next thing you know, I found myself in the conference room of Chuck's office with a seller from Roselle who hadn't paid their mortgage in 14 months. And my job at the time was simply to get them from the phone into the office. I knew that I wasn't the most educated to bring them throughout the entire process, but I knew that Chuck was there to support me. And so long as I showed that I was able to get them into the office, he would help me from there. So this deal that's on the screen was actually, I believe, my very first deal on paper. And again,
you know why it happened so quick? Because you put the work in.
Yeah, I was hungry. So something that I teach to the students that are underneath me is to not take your foot off of the pedal after you get your first deal. There's like this mindset of like, I have my first deal and I want to baby it and I want to make sure it makes it to the closing table. So I'm just going to put all my energy and attention toward this. But with a little more experience, I realized that this is actually a law of averages. It's actually a numbers game. So the more calls you make, the more appointments you make. The more appointments you make, the more money you make. It's all directly correlated, right? Mm-hmm. So I quickly shifted that mindset to be like, you know what? It's great that I got my first deal, pen on paper, and I have a team behind me to support me, but let me go full steam ahead. Let me just keep going. I want 5, I want 10, I want 20. So shortly thereafter, I had taken a vacation or like a weekend getaway at my girlfriend's grandma's house in Brick, New Jersey, which is down in Ocean County. And I was just totally, I had my feet up for the weekend. I wasn't doing much. And I've already started to see some of the fruits of my prospecting return back to me. And what I mean by that is I received a call from an efforts that I had put out maybe a month prior. And it was the picture that we're looking at now. This was an individual in Haskell, New Jersey. And the lady at the table, she's actually the daughter of so her parents had passed away. She inherited the property. Her and her brother were the decision makers, and they didn't know what to do with the property. So I told them that, I work with a group of people who specialize in exactly this, inheritance properties, pre-foreclosure properties, and they could provide a few options for you. Would you like to meet? And she was all ears. And next thing you know, I had yet another appointment in the conference room. And I was starting to see that this is nothing more than a system. And if I plug myself into the system, it's, the roadmap is guaranteed. It's a matter of if I work, but it's not a question if the system works. We all know that, millionaires and a lot of wealth has been generated in the industry of real estate. That's not up for debate. What's up for debate is your discipline and your consistency. And I was at such a pain point with working a 9-to-5 job. In my mind, I knew this was the only way that I would find contentment or happiness with my life. So I just, every day, it was relentless. One quality I do have is persistence. And
yeah, you love to learn, dude. Like, I'm gonna just make a quick statement here.
Even to this day, I'm still learning and downloading information that will make me.
Well, you froze. Hold on. I'm going to cut it, AJ. We're going to pick it up. Hold on. I'm still on. Jump back on, AJ. There you are.
Yeah, sorry about that. Quick technical.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's keep going. We can edit it out.
Yeah, we can. We're still rolling. So I say all that to say that you need to be really hungry to get your next deal. You need to be persistent. You need to be consistent. That is the formula, the proven formula for you making progress in this journey of real estate. Okay, so let's head to the next slide, boss.
You're definitely a very unique guy that likes to learn. It was kind of a privilege to be the Miyagi to your Karate Kid.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So here are 4 quick, highlight reels, if you will. It might have been all within my first year still. So I realized that, within the journey of real estate, there is a lot of paperwork. Really, all real estate transferring is the transfer of paperwork. And a lot of these documents need to be notarized, right? So you need a notary to acknowledge a document. It's a really easy to figure it out if I just go down to the courthouse.
You're frozen again.
Be a notary. That can be an additional service that I provide to people when they need someone to witness a signature on a legal document. So that
fucking annoying. I'm totally fine with just sitting next to you and doing it right here. We could probably do that because it is recording on my end. So just, yeah, that's fine. All right, let's keep going.
Let's keep it going.
So we're in the same room.
Whoa.
Work the slides.
So I became a notary again because it was another tool that I could add to my tool belt that I knew that would help myself and the team around me. Moving on to that next picture, I started to gain traction to where there were other individuals who wanted to learn what it is that I do and how that I do it. So I had, one of my friends to this day, Freddie Maldonado. He's actually a Spanish speaker, so I don't want to hear any excuses on why you can't do this. He has a very thick accent, right? And I say this to say that it's possible. So he reached out to an individual in Avenel, New Jersey, and this was actually crazy. When I walked in, it was a hoarder situation. For those who don't know what a hoarder is, it's someone who just keeps a bunch of personal belongings, and they have problems with parting with material possessions. So when I walked in the house, the entire floor was covered. You could not see if it was a rug or if it were hardwood floor. It was just garbage bags, paperwork, and You want to tell them?
You can tell me anything you want.
You fucking, it was pills and, you know, it was
Porn.
and it was a distressed situation.
It's a party.
It was a party in that house, right? Come to say, after I dug a bit deeper, come to find out that there had been a divorce situation, and the previous wife was the one who neglected the property and made it the way that it was. So, you know, through some further prospecting, I was like, you know, so how can I help you? And he was like, really, I just want to walk away from this property. I don't want the burden of this on my shoulders anymore. If you can pay for it what I owe, I'll sell it to you right now. So that was a done deal. That was history, right? Moving on to the next one, the next little slide there. I noticed I was prospecting so much, and there were a pool of individuals who wanted market value for their homes. They weren't really too interested in creative options or deep discounts or cash offers or things of that nature. So in my office on my team, I realized that there were some realtors, you know, making extra money with that license. So I studied up. I went to Kyle Kovacs' School of Real Estate, highly recommended. After that, I had to take a school exam followed by a state exam, pay a couple fees, throw some money around, and next thing you know, I became a licensed realtor. So on top of all the prospecting that I was doing for everyone who wanted market value, I was now able to help them as well. So I've had, you know, a few listings sprinkled throughout my journey. And then lastly, here's just another, similar to Freddie's situation. It was someone else who had caught traction of what it is I was doing and wanted to learn more of how we do it. So her name's Debbie. She had found this property out in Highland Lakes, New Jersey, from a family friend who was going through some hardship. So similar to the previous client, you know, we brought him in closer and we provided a bunch of options to help him out. So going back to, you know, how do you even find these people in the first place? So this gets into the concept of marketing. And there are a few ways to market. You know, you can do your Facebook ads and your Google or your SEO. You can build websites. As we, you know, preach here in this program, it's cold calling, right? In my opinion, besides cold calling and direct door knocking, that's how you're going to get in front of the homeowner most efficiently. But that's not to say that you can't text message. We have a few cars that are wrapped with We Buy Houses vinyl, right? We've done magazines. We've done billboards. So really, as far as the imagination can think, it's just a matter of getting in front of the person who wants to sell. Next slide. So you know you have to call, but who do you call and where do you find the person you need to call? So again, this is all county data and it's public information to you and I. To find that, you're going to go to njlistpendens.com, lispendens.com. Fun fact, list pendens is a Latin term for lawsuit pending. So if you break that down, it means it's New Jersey's lawsuitpending.com. So it's a good place to be.
And every state, I think, has one of these. So if this isn't your state, go for it.
Yeah,
just find one.
Ask about the list pendens list. And again, these are going to be people who are in pre-foreclosure. So that's exactly who you need to be in front of. Like everything else, like McDonald's and Burger King, you know, there's always competitors in different places you can go. There are a few other data providers. Listsource.com is a very common one that you'll find out in the internet world if you try to do the research yourself. And then D for D stands for driving for dollars. I'm a real big advocate for that too, because it's going to be a very unique list to you and you only, because only you have driven that route and only you have that custom list, right? So there's not going to be a lot of competition on this. And there's many more, from, you know, billboards and wrapping your car and texting, but that's going to be your bread and butter of marketing. Okay, so there's a missing link between you calling them and you finding who you need to call. There's no phone number attached, right? There's no contact information. All you're going to get from the county is a first and last name and a property address, which is good data, but it's not great data. So that means that I could send them a piece of mail. I could do direct mailing. I could door knock them, but that's just about all of my options, until I go forth with a process called skip tracing, which is the process of attaching the contact information to the property owner's information. So this is going to give me up to 3 phone numbers that I can contact this person through, and at least 2 emails that I could send an email out to. So now that I have that missing link, I can properly, reach out to these people. Now I open the doors for texting, for calling, for emailing, just by going forth with the skip tracing process. Now, where do you go to do that? We have a vendor that we work with. His name is Jesse Fenton. He's been working with us for 2-3 years, and the name of his company is Visor, VISIR Real Estate. And then, of course, going back to the other, McDonald's and Burger King, of course, there are other places you can go. There are other vendors where you can skip trace. But we found that Jesse's accuracy is really good. It's very accurate. And then he gives us a really preferable price, right? We do pay a bit under market value for our leads. But that's just because we do this in volume and we give a lot of business to Jesse, and he gives a lot back to us. So it's a great relationship we have. So what you'll notice is as you're on this journey, you will literally collect stacks worth of paper. Stacks. And it's just like if you've ever seen an Excel sheet, right? It's just a list and it's like 20, 50 pages. And this is okay. We've had a lot of success doing this, but at scale, it can get a little unorganized, right? Because maybe you'll take a sheet from the office and you'll put it in your car and there was a lead on that. Or you'll take a sheet and you'll bring it home and there was 2 leads on that. But now you're at your office the next day and both of those sheets are somewhere where you're not. So it's hard to follow up with people in that fashion. So kind of how Chuck alluded to, we're kind of bringing the new age to the system and we're adding technology to stay more organized. And with that, I recommend a database management system. And again, there are many vendors you can choose from Podio. The one that I love and recommend is REI Sift. It's real estate specific and it has a lot of bells and whistles that are specific to the task that we do day in and day out. And it allows me to compile my data in one hub, right? So I never lose a lead. And another great aspect is something called stacking. So for example, if I have a list of people that are divorced and I have a list of people that are in pre-foreclosure, this software will allow me to see what people are on both lists, thus having 2 distress points instead of 1.
So that's how you do it.
Exactly.
I know you've been better than anybody I've ever seen. So
there you go.
Now I know.
So, it's not to say I couldn't call just a divorce lead or just a pre-foreclosure lead, but obviously if someone's dealing with both, why don't I go ahead and call them first, right? So that's just the tip of the iceberg on how this management system can give you insight into your leads and who's going to sign a contract today. So with this, naturally comes a bunch of nervousness. You're now at the point where you're like, this all is good and dandy, but what do I say? I don't know what to say. So again, there are so many scripts out there, and I've sort of compiled all the scripts into what I call a framework. So I'm not going to tell you to say, hi, my name is, so to speak, but what I will teach you are the data points that you need to find out during the conversation. And once you have all of these data points, you have a qualified lead. And at that point, I'll teach you how to set the appointment. So on the next slide, I'll tell you what those points are.
If the script is good enough, Hollywood will make a movie out of it.
Yeah. Look at that. You can become an actor. So something that was taught to me too, from a mindset perspective, your only job, right, in the beginning is to collect and retain information. That is all you need to do. You need to be super organized. Because again, when it comes to deal structuring and the more advanced language, you're probably going to want to pass it off to one of your coaches like myself, Chuck, Linton in the other room. We have coaches all around the office. But your only job is to get them from the phone to an in-person appointment. And we'll hold your hand from there on out. But how do you get from the appointment? How do you get from the phone call to the appointment? You have to go through the 6 bits of information. So quickly, that first data point that I'm not gonna ask in any specific order, but I'll just go top to bottom based off the slide. The first data point I'm gonna ask is about any mortgage information. I'm gonna ask about what the outstanding payoff amount is. If they are in pre-foreclosure, are your payments current? When was the last time you made a payment? What was your payment? All those sorts of questions to understand, when we go to pay this off, we need to know what that payoff amount is to make sure that we satisfy it. Moving on, we need to know what the seller is asking for the property. So if they give you any kickback on this, you let them know that you're here to help them. And if you want to do the dance, right, you can lowball them, and then they're going to be like, oh no, and then you can be like, okay, so you do have a number in mind. We know that number is too low. So between this number and this number, I know there's a deal in between. So please allow me to give you what you want, and what are you asking, right? Moving on, something that we're going to need to know is, what is the property even worth? And you can look at that twofold. You can look at it as, what is it worth as it sits today, or what is it worth after repairs, right? After we do the renovations and make it look like HGTV. Moving on, we need to know the big why. Why do you want to sell? What is your motivation? How did we get to this distress point in the first place? Another thing we're going to need to know and find out about is the timeline. So are there any pertinent dates that we need to know so that we can move accordingly? For example, in a pre-foreclosure lead, oftentimes they'll have something called a sale date, which is the date that their house goes back to the bank, right? That's the day, correct me if I'm wrong, that the sheriff comes.
20 minutes, everything you can carry, get out.
Okay. Our job is to prevent that situation from happening, right? So if there is, in fact, a sale date, that's something that we're going to ask, and we're going to keep note of, and we're going to collect and retain that information. And then lastly, just the general condition of the property. Is it a hoarder house like the other appointment where I can't even see the floor? There's so much junk. I need to account for how many dumpsters this is going to take. Or do I just need to put paint, and then I could rent it out? Maybe we could do something creatively, like a subject to. And if you don't know what that is yet, we'll get into it a bit later. But the point being, after you have these 6 data points, you have a clearer picture into the lead that you're dealing with, and then we can kind of brainstorm from there on what the best options will be. Next slide. Naturally, with asking people, sensitive information, at least some people think it is.
Like, would you out with me?
Yeah, you'd be surprised. So this next slide, rebuttals and objections. Often when you ask people, what do you owe on your house, or what is it that you're asking? Sometimes, and I don't know why, but sometimes they give you kickback. Why do you need to know that? Why is that important? Who are you? How did you even get my number? Things of this nature. And when we teach, we go by all of the objections and what they might say, and why you need to understand why it is you're asking. So like I said, let's just pick one, like timeline, for example. They might say, like, why is that even important? Why do you need to know when I need to sell it by? And then I'll let them know. Well, in my experience, some properties have a sale date, and I need to know that we need to help you out before that sale date, before the deal is dead, and we'll no longer be able to help. The bank is going to then take the property, and you're going to be, I hope you got somewhere to stay, So you're just going to break them down. The more you understand why you're asking, the better you'll be at rebuttals and objections. So with that, there's a lot more intricacies throughout the process, but we do teach all of this in an A to Z format in a course that we created called C4, which stands for Cold Calling Coaching Community.
I don't even know if I'd call it a course. It's more like just ongoing support, because
it's like a hand-holding experience.
I mean, pretty much taking your skill set and ability to find data and information. You've been teaching these people how to get them on the phone. We've been giving them all the information at a fraction of the cost. And
yes, that too.
Chris, you were out in the field yesterday buying a house with somebody.
Yeah, one of my students got a deal in his first week of calling. I mean, it's been done. And I would like to see you on the inside of the course or of the program, so that if you are interested, we can teach you everything and plug you into our resources. And most importantly, you can meet the people who are doing it. I think something that was game changing for me was actually meeting people who are active in the business, because I could go on YouTube University and try to piece the puzzle together myself, but I'd probably still be lost to this day, because it's a lot easier if someone tells you everything in sequential order, right?
It's a lot easier if you got a question, if you can have a set time every week or whatever to reach out and ask that person the question as well. I know personally I had those people, and I mean, put together, we originally had a community that would come to the office once a week, but COVID kind of killed that. So here we are online.
Pretty much. So the old next slide. So with that, I'm assuming you're on your phone and you have a phone nearby. Go ahead and text ABC to 201-907-7548. Or if it's easier, go ahead and scan that QR code on your screen, and then we'll see you on the inside and we'll be able to answer any questions you might have.
Yeah, we're willing to talk. You want to take it through a call real quick?
Yeah, let's do a role play.
All right, give me a call.
Okay. Ring, ring.
Who this?
Hi, is this Chuck Kohout?
Who's asking?
Hey, good afternoon. Hey, my name's AJ. I know the call's out of the blue. I'm actually calling about a property that you have here on 10 Dancer Place in Hackensack.
Yeah, I got a few properties.
Okay.
What about it?
Yeah, I got you. Hey, man. So I'm actually in the business of selling and buying properties, and I wanted to know if you'd ever consider selling that property or considering an offer.
I mean, yeah, everything's for sale if the price is right.
All right. So let me ask you, if you had to consider selling it before, what were you asking for the property?
You know something? I don't even know. I mean, what do you think it's worth? What do you think I can get for it?
I hear you. To be honest, it's not like I did too much, research on your property beforehand. I was just calling to see if you were in fact interested in the property.
Yeah, I'm interested.
Okay.
If the price is right, I'd sell it.
Okay. So let me ask you, why would you want to consider selling it?
Well, it's kind of big,
Okay.
and I'm not sure I need the space. And I mean, honestly, shit ain't so rosy since the pandemic. So, it's a little financially tight.
Okay. Are you living at the property or is it vacant?
Not there full time, but I'm still keeping some shit there.
I totally get it. So, in terms of the condition, it's definitely livable, right? It's not anything too crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely livable. It's got everything but a shower. There's no place to bathe in it. It's just weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
To live there.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so just so you know, Chuck, I am looking here at a list pendants list, and what that is some properties that may or may not be in pre-foreclosure. I don't want to accuse you of anything of your financial information, but have you ever been behind on payments on this property?
Yeah, I just told you it's been a little financially difficult, so
Great.
you got me. Yeah, you asked me the obvious. I'm gonna come forth and tell you. I'm not looking to bullshit you on this.
I love a straight shooter.
I'm not. I'm not exactly happy with the situation either. So, if you got a suggestion, I'm all ears.
Okay. So going back on that asking price, if we could purchase the property for what you owed on it, is that something you consider?
Yeah, I mean, maybe first we got to figure out what I owe. I haven't been paying attention to that. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, I don't know how to find that out.
Cool. We have a couple ways. So one way is, do you have a recent payoff or a bank statement, a mortgage statement?
Yeah, I got it in a pile. I got people calling me, yelling at me. You come take a look at that shit. Just don't yell at me. I can't take another person yelling at me. My feelings hurt.
Oh man, we're gonna take it nice and slow. So that'd be one option. Another option is we can have our company authorized to find out the answer on your behalf.
Yeah, I think I like that a lot better because they're kind of mad at me, and it's just I'm sensitive.
I'd imagine the bank doesn't like you owe the money. Makes sense. Let me ask you, do you know anything about like a specific timeline you need to pay it back by?
No, denial's not just a river in Africa. I really just haven't been paying attention to this situation whatsoever, and I've stuck my head in the sand like an ostrich.
Yeah. All right. So it's time to pull your head out of the sand, right? So that we can know what we're looking at, no pun intended, and then we can make a solution and give you some options. Okay. So from afar, it does sound like a property that we're interested in. I have no problem purchasing it for what it is that you owe on it. Let me ask you, is the best time to meet today at 4:00 or maybe Friday at 2:00?
I will actually be available today, probably a little bit after 4, like 4:15, 4:30. If you can make it, I know that's late, but I'm late on my payments and pretty much everything else too. I just, you've been very straight with me. I don't want to tell you 4:00. I'm gonna be half an hour late because I'm gonna be half an hour late. So, tell me it's 4:00. I'll be there at 4:30.
All right. So I'm gonna plan to meet you at 4:30 with the rest of my team here. We're gonna dive a bit deeper into the property and what your options really are.
I don't have to do anything, right? Just show up.
Just show up. We're gonna have a friendly conversation and explore options.
Okay. Exploring is cool.
Exploring is cool. So it was a pleasure meeting or speaking with you on the phone. I'll see you in just a few hours. Bye for now.
All right, it's pretty smooth.
That was, I don't know. That was, these are usually like 30, 45-minute calls, right? We skipped the whole part of like building rapport and like getting to know each other on a personal level. That example was strictly business, as you can tell. But would you maybe want to do one in the opposite direction?
Yeah, I think we could do one in the opposite direction. What I'm even thinking is we could take some time and block it off and really
hit the dialer.
Really hit the dialer and do just different situations and record it for everybody.
We even have successful student calls that we can upload if that were to help the people who are watching.
I'm thinking that that's a much better option just so that they can see that it's real. And honestly, we're making the calls from the state of New Jersey. We're recording them on one side. Even if we didn't tell the other person that we recorded the call, it's actually read the law. And as long as one party knows that you're recording it, it's perfectly legal. So yeah, let's give them some real information.
All right, cool. Yeah. I'll maybe through when they take action,
yeah,
they will get rewarded.
Yeah,
that's how you will get the recording.
If you guys want the recording calls, text the number on your screen.
And I'll get it to you that way. All right, let's do one more cold call in the opposite direction so you can see another approach.
Let's do it. Right. What do you want me to do here?
Ring.
Ring.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going? Listen, I was reaching out to you. I got your number off of a list. I was interested in buying the house at 123 Main Street, and I was just wondering, is this Ashley Santana?
That's really weird. Sorry, who are you?
My name is Chuck. Don't worry, I'm weird. It's totally cool.
Okay.
I got your number off of it's actually off the internet. We got a young man in my office that traces our list penance list, and that would be a list of people who are more than 3 months behind on their property. I am reaching out to them to see if I can help them out. If there's anything that I can do or any assistance I could be of to you, I just wanted you to know, Mr. Santana, I am on your side and your best interest is my primary concern. And on top of that, if I can't help you save your house, I'll buy it.
Okay. So what's in it for you? Why are you doing this?
Well, this is what I do for a living, and I don't want to hide the fact that I actually do this to make money. However, if there is no financial reward in your particular situation, the universe is a very generous place. And what I found is that if I simply point you in the right direction and do the right thing, that karma will come right back around again and reward me. So one way or another, my goal is to help you out and put more good back into the world.
Okay, I understand. You're in it to make money, right? And you think it's possible that I could make some money?
Anything is possible, and I really won't know until I come and I see the house and I sit down with you face to face in person. You and I have a dialogue, and we work as if we're on the same team, examine the facts, and see what the opportunity is. And only then, after we've really looked at the title and where the payoff and your debt load, could I tell you what you could make and what you could potentially walk away with. But even then, it all depends on me and you working together as a team.
Okay, so it sounds like you want to buy my house.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind buying your house. I don't have to. I don't even necessarily want to. I want to help you out of this particular situation, and if possible, make a couple bucks in the process.
So what's your offer?
Again, that's a really good question, and I only have very high-level information right now. Your name, your number, the property address. I don't know too much about it. I could do a little bit of research and tell you when I meet you. Maybe you can give me the bedroom and bathroom count right now.
Yeah, so it's 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath over here in Hackensack.
Okay.
I have no clue what it's worth, but I went through a divorce maybe about a year ago.
I'm sorry to hear that. Do you know the leading cause of divorce?
What is it?
It's actually marriage. I've studied this extensively. Man. I have never met somebody who's been divorced that hasn't been married first.
Wow. So, my ex-wife is just, she lawyered up with an attorney, and I'm getting all this paperwork. I don't understand the legal jargon. I don't know what half of it says, but I did find a line in there that says, like, she wants half of all the money that I make. So I don't even know, I'm trying to figure out ways to keep more money, to be honest with each other.
Okay. I mean, yeah, if we sit down, we really decide to work on the same team. If there's equity in the particular property, There's usually a way that you can keep more of it. Now, I mean, I have to actually, look at the divorce filing and everything else. But
So what happens if I miss some payments too?
I mean, honestly, Mr. Santana, I think you probably did because that's how you found me. And
Mm.
I mean, every dark cloud has its silver lining. So you did fall behind. That did damage your credit. The bank does want to take your house back, but you have to understand that for a guy like me, that's like the bat signal. Well, here I am to save the day, but God helps those who help themselves. So I'm really going to need you to be the Robin to my Batman on this particular transaction. And again, without examining all the facts and you being completely forthcoming, and I mean, really us developing a bond and trust, this is never going to happen. So this is something we can do when we meet together.
Yeah, I mean, it all sounds good, but I'll tell you what, I mean, I've been talking to a couple people. They've even given me some offers. Do you think you could beat their offer?
I mean, anything is possible, but nobody can ever even really truly give you an offer and tell you what you're going to walk away with without you putting your name on a purchase and sales agreement and signing an authorization to release, then ordering title, ordering a payoff, and actually examining the cold hard facts of that particular situation and that transaction. And if anybody gave you a number and said you could walk in with something without doing that, I'm going to tell you right now, you've been lied to. It is not my intent to lie to you. And, it's going to take a little while to really let you know what that solid number is. Step one will be I come out, look at the property, shake your hand, meet you face to face. We have a conversation, examine the information. I will then go. It may take me 3, 5, 7 days to retrieve all the facts. I'll come and I'll meet back with you. And we should be able to dial that in and tell you exactly what you could possibly walk with. But I will not bullshit you and lie to you about what you can get without that being solid information that cannot be redacted.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. You seem super knowledgeable. I guess you might have been doing this for years.
Yeah, I think it'd be like 20 in September, but or not in November. Who's counting?
I'll tell you what, it all sounds great, but I don't want you to get hurt on this deal, Chuck. I mean, I'm already going through a lot of distress. I don't want you to be hurt too.
I mean, look, you're getting divorced. I've already done that twice. I could be going to my third. I'm at the point right now where like a day without pain is like a day without sunshine. And like I told you, you and I are going to have to play together on the same team. Sometimes when you play, you get hurt, but that's not my goal. And I'm not looking to take a risk that's really going to take me down. But right now, you're a man who's in need. You're going through a pre-foreclosure. You're going through a divorce. You are on the tracks, and the train is coming.
Yeah.
It's my goal to push you off, and I don't want to get hit myself either. And I mean, to really tell you how this is all going to unfold, I can't fully process and analyze the situation and give you all the viable solutions without sitting down, meeting with you, looking at the property, and then retrieving all the other information. We get back together. We're gonna have a real harsh confrontation of reality, me and you, and then we're gonna make a decision that's best for you, me, and all the parties involved based on the real facts. And I can't do that without meeting you and looking at the property. I do have some availability this week. If you'd like to get together, I'll put some time aside for you. I mean, I know what it's like. I've gone through a divorce.
Yeah, it sounds like you'll make a great teammate to what I'm dealing with. I'm open to what you got to say.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
So, I'm pretty busy. When are you thinking? My sale date is in like 45 days.
So when are you not busy? As quickly as possible. And if this means I got to come out at midnight, whatever, I'll bring coffee. We'll stay up.
I got Friday at midnight or Saturday at 7 a.m.
You know what? I'm going to do Friday at midnight. You can be sober?
Can't guarantee it.
Well, do me a favor. Could you please be sober just because I need to actually have a real conversation. I don't want to make any decisions under the influence. If not Saturday 7, I could do I'll bring coffee.
Usually me and my buddies go drinking at the bar till midnight. So that's the only reason I'll be up.
How do you like your coffee?
Like my women.
Light and sweet?
We'll go with that, yeah.
Personally, I like them hot, strong, and black.
That was what I was
definitely not bitter. So Saturday, 7 a.m., I'll be there?
Yeah, I'll be much better at that time.
Light and sweet black?
I won't be drunk or anything.
Yeah, no problem. Shoot me a text. Let me know if you're hungry. Maybe I'll pick up a couple egg McMuffins. I'll be up early enough to actually get McDonald's breakfast. Those little hockey puck things can be delicious, and I don't get them too frequently. I usually get up around the crack of noon.
Sounds like we got a man.
You've given me purpose. Thank you for that.
Thanks. You know what? I was feeling really crappy about this, but after talking to you and with your knowledge and your demeanor, I think I might be okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, I just wanted you to know I'm on your side. Your best interest is my primary concern. I'm gonna be there 7 a.m. Saturday morning, and if you're still sleeping, I guess you just want me to ring the doorbell till your ass gets out of bed.
Yeah, you have permission to just knock pretty hard. Just don't get the cops involved.
Nah, I'm not really a fan myself either. Fuck the police coming straight from the underground.
Cool. So, yeah, man, I appreciate you reaching out to me, and just shoot me a call before we head over.
All right, not a problem. I'll call you. I'll text you, and yeah, let's make this shit happen.
There's another approach.
And there's a million approaches, and a lot of this is just, it's almost a concept known as a keto diplomacy. When somebody throws something at you, you acknowledge it, use that same momentum to take them to the mat and address the situation.
Pro tip there.
Yeah.
That's high level thinking there, yeah.
So let me wrap this up.
Yeah, with all that, kind of how my journey started, I highly encourage taking action. So if you do see the contact information on your screen, that's your blessing for today. Go ahead and take action on that. And when you do, you will be rewarded with information or a direction that you're looking to take.
Yeah, it's kind of a little shortcut. It makes it a little bit easier, but it's still not going to completely take you through the pain barrier. So there's going to be some discomfort. We'll address it together. Let's buy some houses. Chuck Kohout, AJ Santana, signing off, right?
Bye for now.
Bye for now.